started, all of the materials are going to be linked down below in the description just because it's a very long list of things that you do need for this project. So let's get into it. I wanted to quickly mention that there are dozens, if not hundreds, of other bumblebee crochet patterns on the internet. That's why I've kind of prolonged making this video, but a lot of people want to see the way that I made my bumblebee, and I don't use a specific pattern from anyone else. This is kind of just like a really simple crochet in the round changing colors pattern, so I hope you guys enjoy. And yeah, I'll link a few other creators who have done different versions of bumblebees in the description box as well. Starting with my 3.75mm hook and my weight 4 yarn, I'm going to create a magic circle. I have a full tutorial on the magic circle on my account, and I will link it at the top here for you to click into if you need a little bit more help with the magic circle. And we're going to do 6 single crochets into the magic circle. So insert our hook, yarn over, pull through. You have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through both of them. We're going to mark this first stitch and do another 5 in there for a total of 6. So insert your hook again, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both loops, that's our second. Insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, that's our third. This is our 4th, 5th, and 6th single crochet of the magic circle. Take this loose tail end here and pull your magic circle tight. We do not need to leave a gap here. You can pull it completely tight. All right, so now we're going to start with round 2. And round 2 is increasing in each stitch for a total of 12 stitches by the end of it. So I'm going to take out my stitch marker, and going into that exact stitch that I just took the stitch marker out of, I'm going to place a single crochet. So yarn over, pull through both loops on the hook. And I am now going to mark that stitch to signify that's the first stitch of our round. Go back into that same stitch and place another single crochet. And that's how to do an increase. We're placing 2 single crochets into each stitch all around. Into the next stitch, we're placing 1 single crochet, and then go back into that same stitch and place the second one. Into the next stitch, 2 single crochets. Into the next stitch, 2 single crochets. Into the next, 2 single crochets. And into the next, 2 single crochets. And that is round 2. You should have 12 stitches by the end of this round. For round 3, the pattern is 1 single crochet and 1 increase. So I'm taking out that stitch marker, and I'm going into that stitch that I just took the stitch marker out of and placing a single crochet. Let's mark that stitch with a stitch marker. And then into the next stitch, we're placing 2 single crochets. So that's 1, go back into that same stitch, place another one. Into the next stitch, 1 single crochet, and into the next stitch, place 2 single crochets. Into the next stitch, place 1 single crochet, and into the next stitch, place 2 single crochets. And that's our increase. Continue this all the way around, and you should be ending on an increase at the end of this round. So that is my last increase. By the end of round 3, you should have 18 stitches all around. So give that a count and see if you do have 18 stitches. For round 4, it's kind of the same pattern, except we're going to do 2 single crochets. So 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and then an increase in the next stitch. So I took out my stitch marker, I'm going into that stitch and placing 1 single crochet. Into the next stitch, I'm placing 1 single crochet. And into the next stitch, I'm placing 2 single crochets. So into that next stitch, place 1 single crochet. Into the next one, place 1 single crochet. And into the next stitch, place 2 single crochets. Into the next stitch, 1. Into the next stitch, 1. And into the next stitch, 2. And that's the pattern. 2 single crochets and then an increase all the way around. And you should be ending on that increase as well at the end of the round. So I'm making my last 1 stitch, and then my last increase. By the end of that round, you should have 24 stitches, and you should also notice that your project is going to kind of start curling inwards like this. If it's not curling inwards by now, hopefully the next couple of rounds it will. But yeah, it's going to start making this kind of circular oval, I guess, shape. And that's what we want, so don't worry about that. For round 5, we're just going to be placing single crochets in every stitch. So take out that stitch marker. I'm going into that stitch and placing a single crochet. And let's just quickly mark that. Then into the next stitch, a single crochet, into the next stitch, a single crochet, the next one a single crochet, and it's just one single crochet in all 24 of the stitches, all around. And before you move on to round 6, which is the next round, I'm going to show you how to do a seamless color change because we're going to start with the bumblebee stripes. So I'll meet you towards the end here. Just don't do those last couple of stitches and I'll show you. So as you can hopefully see here, I only have one stitch left of this round. The next stitch after that is the stitch marker. You're going to do a color change now. Insert your hook into that stitch, and instead of using the yellow yarn to kind of complete that single crochet, I'm going to take my black yarn and kind of loop it onto my hook like this. And now we're going to complete that single crochet. So pull through, and then using the black yarn, we're going to yarn over and pull through. So see, it makes the yellow part of that stitch stay there, and now we're going to start with the black yarn. And the pattern's super simple. We're just going to take off our stitch marker here, go into that next stitch with the black yarn. So you're holding the black yarn now, but don't cut off the yellow yarn. And just place a single crochet. And we're going to do single crochets in every stitch all the way around. And that's the simplest pattern ever, just single crochets in each stitch all around with that black yarn. I will meet you towards the end of this round. I'm just finishing up my last stitch of this round with the black yarn, and as you can see, it makes a really nice color change. For the next round, we're going to be doing the exact same thing, so I'm taking out my stitch marker and placing a single crochet in that stitch. And you're just going around doing single crochets again for another row of the black yarn. I like to kind of pull this yellow working yarn because then it gets rid of it, and now it's like beautifully seamless. And yeah, for the next round, we're just going to do the exact same thing, single crochets in each stitch all around. And you should still be having 24 stitches at the end of this round. So this is the last stitch of this round, and we're going to now switch back to the yellow to make the stripes. So hard to see, I wish it was a little bit better, but I have my last stitch of the round and then my stitch with the stitch marker. So I'm inserting my hook, and then I'm taking that yellow working yarn, and it's the exact same thing that we did with the black yarn when we were color changing. Yarn over, pull through, and complete that single crochet with the yellow yarn. Now we can start the next round, which is just single crochets all around using the yellow yarn, sorry. I don't know how you guys aren't mad at me. I always mess up my words in all of my videos. I'm surprised I don't really get that many comments about it, but I try my best. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're just gonna go around and do a single crochet in each stitch for a total of 24 stitches, and I'll see you at the end of this round. Coming onto my last stitch of this round with the yellow yarn, I'm going to take out my stitch marker, and the next round we're going to do the exact same thing, still working with the yellow yarn, and do single crochets all the way around. Just marking that stitch again and continuing with the single crochets all around. So as you can kind of get the hang of it now, you'll see that we have two rounds of the black stripes, and then we're going to do 2 rounds, this is our second round of the yellow stripes, and then we're going to repeat this one more time with the black stripes. And I'll show you how to do this at the end of the round. At the last stitch of the yellow round, and I'm going to insert my hook and yarn over with the black yarn now because we're doing another color change, and we're using this black yarn now to do another row of another 2 rounds actually of the black yarn. So taking out my stitch marker, and let's get this started. So single crochet in each stitch all around, and I will see you again at the end of this round. Starting on the next round, which is the same with the black yarn single crochets, taking out my stitch marker, then we're going to mark that stitch again and do another round of the black single crochets. And it's always so hard for me to see these stitches, even if it's completely bright outside. That's why I'm messing up so much. I promise I'm not a bad crocheter. I don't know. If there's something about black yarn that I'm just like, I struggle so much with seeing the stitches. That can't just be a me thing. Comment down below if that has happened to you, because oh my gosh, it is a huge pet peeve of mine. But whatever. Alright, and finally our last color change. So this is my last stitch of the round. I'm going to insert my hook, use my working yarn with yellow, and make that final single crochet. And now we're going to stop using the black yarn. So to do this, I'm going to proceed with another round of the yellow single crochets, just a single crochet all around, marking that stitch. And you can kind of see me for this next stitch, I'm holding the yarn beside that stitch and kind of crocheting around it. Once you've secured that black yarn by crocheting around it, you can just cut it right off because we do not need it anymore. With our scissors. And I'm going to just continue with the yellow single crochets all around. I'm finishing my last stitch of this round, and before we move on to the next rows, we're going to insert our safety eyes. So you can do this either before or after. I kind of like doing it before I finish off and stuff my plushie, and I'll show you. I have the safety eyes that I use linked down below, and the sizing, it depends on the yarn that you're using and the hook. So I recommend ordering this pack on Amazon. How does this open? Like this. And it comes with a whole bunch of them. Mine are all jumbled up. But it's really easy because you can kind of like experiment with the sizing and everything and figure out which one will work best for your plushie. I want you to kind of take notice before placing them. This is the places where our color changes are, and you're going to want to see this like from the top. This is what you want to see when you're making your plushie. So I'm using that middle to kind of figure out where to place the eyes. And I find the best way to place them is between round 3 and 4. So you can count 1, 2, 3, 4. I've placed it right in between there. 1, 2, 3, 4. I placed it right in between there, directly across from each other. And then going inside the plushie, we're going to secure it with the plastic, I think those are called washers. I don't know. I actually don't know, but you just take them like this and secure it on. If you're giving this to a child, I'd recommend also getting hot glue and just kind of pouring it all over there to make it extra secure. But they stay on pretty well. And we're going to continue with the next round. For the next round, I'm taking off my stitch marker and I'm going to place 1 single crochet. Let's mark that stitch. And then I'm going to place another single crochet into the next stitch and then do a decrease for the next stitch. So I'm going into the front loop. Again, I have a tutorial on decreases. And then into the next front loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. That's our decrease. So the pattern is 2 single crochets, 1 decrease. So into that next stitch, a single crochet, into the next stitch, single crochet, and then a decrease. So into that front loop of the next stitch, into the front loop of the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Then 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and decrease. I know I might be going a little bit fast, but I have posted a whole bunch of videos on how to do decreases and stitches like this in my Crochet 101 video. And I really recommend, if you are a beginner, to go watch it because it'll make almost all of my tutorials very easy to follow along with. And that's kind of why I made the channel like the way that it is, so that you can use those Crochet 101 videos and then apply them, you know, to these ones so that you know how to do all these stitches. But if you've been following me for a while, you probably know how to do all these stitches anyways, because these are my most common stitches, like decreases and single crochets. For the next round, the pattern is going to be 1 single crochet, 1 decrease. So I'm taking out my stitch marker and I'm going to do the first single crochet. let's mark that stitch that we just made. That was our 1 single crochet, and the next stitch is going to be decrease. After the decrease, we're going to do another single crochet in the next stitch, and then in the next stitch is a decrease, then 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, all the way around. And you should be ending on that decrease at the end of this round. So my last decrease is here. And ta-da! I'm just going to pull a little bit of yarn because now we're going to stuff the bee with polyfill. Whoever came up with crochet bumblebees needs to, I don't know, get a prize or something because they're always so cute. And I'm so glad that like so many people make them because I don't know, I love when people do plush yarn with them. This is specifically, like you could do this pattern with plush yarn as well. I don't know how big it will turn out. I usually just do it with the acrylic because I like to add these as like add-ons for my bouquets. I think that's a good amount of stuffing. He's looking nice and plump. Our final round of the bumblebee, I'm just gonna secure my hook back onto here. It's just gonna be decreases all around. So instead of doing like a single crochet decrease, it's just gonna be single decreases. So I'm going to go into my next stitch of the round, but it's going to be a decrease. So front loop, decrease, and let's mark that stitch. The next stitches, we're going to decrease all around until you are ending at the last stitch, or the last 2 stitches, because decrease requires you to have 2 stitches. Now we're almost done with the bee. You're going to want to cut off a kind of long, I say long if you're first starting out with this, because we're going to sew the rest of the bee together. I'm just going to take off my stitch marker here. And you could do this next step with a darning needle. It's probably a lot easier, but I always misplace mine. I can't find it. So I'm going to go into this stitch here and just pull my yarn through. We're going to sew off this next one. Go into the next stitch and pull through. It's kind of like this weave in, weave out pattern that is so much easier to do, again, with a darning needle. But we work with what we got. And you're just going into each of the next stitches and weaving in, weaving out until you go all the way around. And you should be, like this is my second last one, you should be ending on a weave out. So I'm just putting it out, and then you can pull your bumblebee closed. To secure it, I like to go into any part of the project, and I'm just going to take that piece of yarn and thread it through the entirety of the project. I give it a nice tug, and we're going to snip it all off. Ta-da! The final part of the bumblebee is making the wings. You can just sew it on using the tail end and going to that middle part here and like securing it just like that. But I'm gonna use hot glue because I'm a cheater and I like using hot glue with my crochet projects. Kill me, I don't know. To do the wings, it's very simple. We're just gonna do a magic circle. So create that magic circle. Again, if you need help with any of these stitches, I will link my video down below. And we're going to be placing 6 single crochets into the magic circle. I don't even really put my stitch marker with this one just because it's a very short pattern. The wings work up very, very fast. So I'm doing 6 single crochets into the magic circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to pull my magic circle closed tight, and then into that next stitch we're just going to be doing increases all around for a total of 12 stitches. So I'm going to place a single crochet in that first stitch, and then into that same stitch another single crochet, and then into the next stitch 2 single crochets, into the next stitch 2 single crochets, into the next stitch 2 single crochets, until you have a total of 12 stitches all around. Again, feel free to use a stitch marker. It's just such a short like pattern that I never really use one for the wings. So I have my 12 single crochets in the circle here. And if you're sewing, I'd recommend cutting a long tail end, depending on how good you're sewing. Fasten off, and then you have 2 of your little wings. So like I said, I'm going to be hot gluing off camera because I don't have a hot glue gun near me where I film, but just make sure that you are gluing the wings not on the color changing part. You're going to want to put them right here. I like to do them 1 stitch apart, kind of in the middle of where those eyes are. And yeah, after everything is secured, you're gonna have this really cute little amigurumi bumblebee. Thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial. I hope you like it, and if you have any questions, leave them down below and I will try my best to help. And yeah, I hope you were able to make a little bumblebee.